Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with unvarnished truths and highly polished lies. On Lee Mack's team tonight, a comedian who released a book called Sex, Power and Money, which, coincidentally, are also her nicknames for me, David and Lee. It's Sara Pascoe. And a fitness instructor who knows all about feeling the burn. Those spandex leotards must really chafe. It's Mr. Motivator. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, an award-winning broadcaster who's covered the Olympics, Wimbledon, Ascot and the World Cup. David, those are all sporting events. It's Dan Walker. And an actor who quit her job at an optician's for the West End because she wanted to see her name up in lights in gradually smaller and smaller letters. It's Nicola Coughlan. We begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Sarah is first up tonight.
As a child, I once secretly cashed my mum's family allowance and used the money to buy a cat.
David's team.
So, how did you perpetrate this fraud?
A lot of strong allegations straight away. It's not a fraud.
Is it not a fraud?
I didn't say I was my mum.
Right.
My mum, single mother at work, so quite often couldn't get to the post office during opening hours, so my job was to get the family allowance. I'm the eldest.
Right. And how old were you?
11.
I see. So you were permitted to collect the money.
Yes,
what
yes.
you weren't then authorised to do by your mother is to spend it on a cat.
Not explicitly.
So it's not fraud, it's theft.
So what happened then, Sarah? Talk us through it.
So I went to the post office.
Yes.
Got the family allowance.
Yes.
Quite near the post office, there was lots of different shops. A high street, if you will. Oddly, on the way to go to the post office, I had popped into the pet shop and there were two little kittens and they were kind of all snuggled and sleepy. Oh, very sweet, very sweet. So I went to the post office, got the money, it was about £30, and then on the way back, one of the cats had been sold and the other one was there, very lonely.
Oh. Is this the story you told your mum, or is this the truth?
Well, this is... We don't find that out till the end of the round.
I'm getting old, I keep forgetting the format.
He was meowing, he was sad, and I realised that I now was holding enough money to buy him, and so I did.
How did you tell your mum?
I told my mum that I'd gone to the post office as instructed, picked up the family allowance. But then when I had been walking home, it had been very windy, the money had flown away. When I was looking for the money, in the grass, I found this kitten.
Did she fall for that?
No.
Oh. I was going to say, if she did, can we get her on that team?
So what happened? Were you allowed to keep the cat?
Well, for a very, very short amount of time, the cat was in our house, but my mum was looking for somewhere else, to give him away to a home where he would be properly cared for, and then she told me that he had blown away.
You were only 11 and she went, oh, where's the cat? He blew away.
11 is not too young to learn the bitter lesson of how miserable life is.
Can I just say this has completely ruined my card in a minute, where I will be reading out that I, in the 1990s, bought a cat off a woman in a pub for 15 quid.
What are you thinking, Nicola? Does this story strike you as true?
I think there's a lot of detail in it.
A lot of detail, yes.
Yeah. I can picture the high street, the pet shop, the post office.
Yes, you've got a wonderful imagination, though, haven't you? You're very gifted in that way, aren't you?
Well, I mean, we're talking about cats here.
Yeah, there are no cats.
No, and yet we vaguely know what we're banging on about.
You brought cats to life as vividly as Andrew Lloyd Webber did all those years ago.
I never saw the live show, I just saw the clip from the film.
I auditioned for that film and didn't get it. And you know who played the part I went up for?
Who?
Judi Dench.
How dare you? Ray Winston. Ray Winston got the part. Dan, what are you thinking?
I feel like I want to believe Sarah on this one. I feel there's an element of truth there.
Well, I think the situation is we just completely believe this. Now, if it's a lie, there's something diabolical that Sarah has done, because we've just totally accepted it.
All right. And can I just say, I'm enjoying the length of your shirt sleeves tonight.
Oh, they're getting longer and longer, aren't
You look like Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. Sarah, they're saying it's true. Was it true, or were you telling a lie?
True.
Yes, it's true. Sarah really did use her mum's family allowance to buy a cat. Dan, you're up next.
Possession.
There'll be a box at the side of your desk.
Yep.
Take the item out of the box, put it on the desk, and once you've done that, read the card if you would.
This is my sports bag, and halfway through signing it, I told Pele to put his pen down because I thought he was ruining it.
Please, team.
Well, that's very interesting. Is that a Brazil bag?
It's actually a New York Cosmos bag.
Oh, of course. So when did you meet Pele?
Well, Pele was the face of New York Cosmos. They paid him a lot of money to sort of front the rebranding of New York Cosmos. And
Also the face of impotence.
yes,
He is.
exactly.
Yes, that's true.
Pele was put up for an interview,
What year was that?
probably about 2011.
So you already had that bag?
No, this was the bag that they gave you as like a goodie bag when you went to the press conference.
Was there stuff inside it?
There was some pencils and...
There were some pencils.
There was some
did he say?
pencils.
He said there was some pencils.
I meant to say there was a pencil.
Were there any pencils or not?
There were pencils in there.
All right.
Yeah.
See, there was pencils.
No, now you're...
There were some pencils in there
Yeah.
and a flannel.
No, there were a flannel. There were a flannel. May we have a look at the bag?
I'm told it's been sanitised. Let me
Yeah, but
put...
he's touched it now.
I've only touched the back handle.
I'm going to put my arm through it like this.
I've never seen you look more handsome.
OK. OK. That's interesting.
If you look there, right, that says PE.
Well, it's a sports bag.
Exactly. Which is amazing, because the reason I didn't want him to sign it was because I wanted to use it in the gym, and now that's my gym bag with PE written on it, you see?
I mean, I understand the concept of not wanting a signature if you think the bag's better, but if he started it,
Yeah.
is it not better to finish it than have just PE?
Right, so I'd taken a Brazil shirt with me.
For him to sign?
Yeah, so I gave it to the great man, and he signed the shirt, full signature on the shirt. And I think it was like an all the best Dan Pele, OK?
I didn't know his first name was Dan.
I took the shirt, I turned and put it on my normal bag that I brought with me, and then when I turned back, the great man had my bag that he picked up, and without thinking, I said, "Not the bag, Pele." And,
What an idiot Pele is! Put the pen down, Pele, you maniac!
What must Pele have thought of you? Because this bag was given to you for free.
he sort of stared at me angrily, and then he said, "No one's ever asked me not to sign anything before."
Did he have a translator?
No, he spoke perfect English.
Really?
Yeah.
He does speak English.
Does he?
Yeah. Are you impotent? That's pretty good English if you know the word impotent. So, Dan, so at this point, they're looking at you as if... And he said, no one has asked me not to sign something before.
Yeah.
What happens then?
I think we can see why he signed the impotence contract.
Yeah.
Someone just put it in front of him.
Dan, I don't understand why you didn't want Pele to sign a bag. Why?
Because I really like the bag.
Yeah, but imagine having a bag signed by Pele, waiting until, God forbid, one day he passes on to a better place, and selling it on eBay.
So do you have a lot of signed memorabilia by people and you're waiting for them to die?
Well, all that stuff I've got you to sign. All those Peep Show DVDs, I'm not watching them, that's for sure. So, what are you thinking? Sarah, do you think this could be true?
No, I don't think anyone would stop Pele signing the bag. I think it's a lie.
Mr.
A lie.
Motivator, MBE.
A lie.
OK. We're saying it's a lie.
It's unanimous. They think it's a lie. Dan,
Yes.
it's a great story. Was it true or was it a lie?
I can tell you that the story is true.
Yes, it's true. Dan really did stop Pele from signing his bag. Right, Mr. Motivator, you're next.
Every day, I do 1 press-up for each year I've been alive.
OK.
Wow.
David's team.
How many years have you been alive?
That's what he says at speed dating. How long have you been alive?
I'll tell you what, before you say...
Won't be for much longer.
Before you say, Mr. Motivator, let's just see how old we think.
It's hard to tell because he has the face of a 50-year-old and the clothes of a 14-year-old.
What are you going to say?
I'm going to add them together. No, I'm going to say late 50s, 58.
OK, Mr. Motivator.
67, 68.
You said you're 67 and you claim to do 67 press-ups every day.
Yeah.
Mr. Motivator, obviously doing 67 would be inhumane. Maybe do 1 or 2, just so we can witness the technique.
Well, I mean, if some of you guys would do it... I mean,
I'm just going to say at this point, there are no circumstances under which I will do a press-up.
David, what if it was a different exercise? Would you do like a jumping jack or a burpee?
What's a burpee?
It's where Victoria puts you over her shoulder and pats you back.
I'm happy to do one with you, Moat.
OK. Now, remember, I have a shoulder which has been in...
You've got a shoulder problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But I'll do a few.
Yeah.
OK. I'll go here. So I've got to do what you're doing now, OK?
Yeah, you got to do one.
That's not a press-up.
We are warming up, you idiot. You know nothing about the body.
Let's do it on the edge.
On the edge.
Like these, all right? Here we go. Let's go. Go. Push it. Come on, guy.
I'm doing it.
Come on, man. Very good. Keep going. Keep going leg. And then you can
I
take your
thought we
leg.
weren't going to do 67.
And then wide. And then wide.
I'm out.
I think it's fair to say, Rob, that you surpassed everybody's expectations.
I'll be fine in a minute. It was like something out of Rocky, wasn't it?
It was impressive, that.
It was great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
So, Dan, what do you think? Truth or lie?
I was tempted to say lie. Then I saw the ease with which he did that, and I'm thinking true.
What do you think?
I'm leaning towards a lie.
You-
I'll let you have the deciding vote.
I've got the deciding vote anyway. I'm going to go true.
They're saying it's true. Mr. Motivator, was it true?
True.
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So, please welcome this week's special guest, Graham. Nicola, what is Graham to you?
So this is Graham, and I once got him to jump out of a cupboard to scare away my hiccups.
Right, Nicola's hiccup hero. Dan, how do you know Graham?
This is Graham, and he is the secretary of my highly exclusive club, and the name of the club, Egg Club.
Right, Dan's club cohort. And David, finally you. What is your relationship with Graham?
This is Graham. He comforted me when, while visiting a model village, I suddenly became overwhelmed by my own enormousness.
So there we have it. Lee's team, where are you going to start?
Nicola, tell me what happened.
I had a really, really bad case of the hiccups on set in Dairy Girls, and it was ruining the day.
Could I just hear the sound of your hiccup, please?
It would be a fake hiccup, but you can.
But yes, I'd like to hear it.
Okay. Just like had that moment where I was like, Mr. Motivator's asking me to do a fake hiccup. Like, what is my life? This is so strange. Okay.
What?
Oh, goodness.
I don't know, did that help?
That sounded like Chihuahua from a distance.
Chihuahua from a distance, that's a scent, isn't it? That's...
Graham seems to be quite a normal-looking man.
Yeah.
And so what was so scary about him coming out of a cupboard?
No.
Are you easily scared?
No. So we were in this old school building, and he is the second AD. He was like, I will hide somewhere here. He was like, I'm going to get you.
He told you he was gonna hide.
Yeah, like I knew it was going to happen.
And the
but
anticipation wasn't enough. You needed the shock.
it was literally the only thing.
Yeah.
What
And it
other
was the fact-
techniques did you try before you did
Yeah.
that?
Tried to do that water upside down thing, but that's a
Yeah.
whole crock of rubbish.
Yeah.
Did you hold your breath and put your fingers in your ears?
Yeah.
What's the point of the fingers in the ears?
Because it stops air getting in your ears.
Yeah.
Stop you breathing out through your ears.
There's air getting in there to make you hiccup again.
Well,
Is that what causes it? Air going in the ears?
Just any air through any orifice.
What else do you have to put your finger in then?
You only have 2 fingers.
Oh, you don't. You have 10. Did you really just say on national television? You've only got 2 fingers.
No one noticed me. No one noticed that I didn't know how many I had. Nicola, did you know Graham's name beforehand? Do you know all of the crew's name when you're filming?
You definitely know the second, because they're the ones that whenever you need to go to the bathroom, you have to ask them. Like you're in primary school.
You have to ask them to go to the toilet.
You do, and then they...
You're really method with playing this child, aren't you?
But if you have to go to the bathroom, they have to know where the actors are at all times. So there's a special code on a radio for when an actor's in the bathroom.
What's that code?
10-1.
Yeah.
10-1.
I have no idea what it stands for.
10-1. Unless you need the other one, then it's 10-2.
So he jumps out of the cupboard.
Yes.
What happens?
I knew it was happening, so I sort of laughed and then realised then that they were gone.
Right, who would you like to question next?
Dan.
Yes.
Just remind us of your statement, Dan.
This is Graham, and Graham is the secretary of a highly exclusive club that I've got, and that club is called Egg Club.
OK, how many people are in this exclusive club?
You'd have to check with the secretary, Graham.
He can't tell us that.
I think 15, 16.
And when you say exclusive, have people tried to join and they've been turned away?
Yeah, in Egg Club, we have a very specific poaching method. It's one of those things that started as a bit of a joke. I put some pictures of some poached eggs on social media, and then lots of people started sending pictures of their poached eggs back to me. So I said, you're banned from Egg Club for not doing it right.
And how many people do you think you've banned over the years or months this has been going?
Maybe 100. In Egg Club, we're like a basic egg, so no sort of frills, no salmon or... what's that green stuff? I've forgotten what the green stuff is.
The green
Spinach?
stuff?
No.
Avocado.
Avocado.
Somebody's banned from Avocado Club.
Graham sent me a picture of his eggs with no
Yeah.
avocado, no salmon, just plain toast, butter, eggs. And I said, you're in, Graham. And then I send him a direct message and say, welcome to Egg Club. And
what does he say in reply to that?
He says, oh, fantastic.
Really?
Probably about a year into Egg Club, people start getting really angry that you're banned from... So I hosted an event about a year ago, and somebody came up to me with a plate with 2 poached eggs on it, and they said, you banned me from Egg Club 6 months ago. Can you check these to see if they're OK? And I said, when did you cook them? And he said, I cooked them yesterday. I said, well, you're clearly banned for another year. So...
Now, on social media, of course, you get a lot of celebrities, famous people. Have any of them had dalliances with your seemingly futile club?
Gordon Ramsay's banned.
No.
Did he send an egg or did you just see him make an egg?
He made an egg, and somebody commented on his egg and said, oh, you're not going to get into Egg Club with that. And he said, I think it was, what the is Egg Club? And
Yeah.
I said, foul language banned for life. So...
Dan, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you quite lonely?
I've got 3 kids and 2 jobs, but
But still time for Egg Club.
What about David? Just remind us of your claim, David.
This is Graham, and he comforted me when, while going round a model village, I became overwhelmed by my own enormousness.
OK. Where was this model village?
It was in the Cotswolds.
Did you go on your own?
I did, yeah.
Is there a castle there?
No. If there'd been a castle, I wouldn't have gone to the model village. Because there'd be a castle.
OK, so this is interesting. So you think castles are better than model villages?
Oh, he loves castles.
So what else is on
Not as much as him. That's why they call him Mr. Moat.
Why on earth did you go to a model village on your own?
I didn't have anything to do.
Was this recently?
It was a couple of years ago. I was working in the Stroud area.
Is that a euphemism?
Well, no.
OK.
Come on, look, you've got the moat thing. You're fine for a couple of years on it. So I was filming something round there. I had basically a day off, so I thought I'd go and sort of go somewhere nice.
And where were you when you cried? What particular part of the model village made you weep?
I think I had just passed the church.
Oh, that must have been a hell of a meal.
There was... yeah, absolutely. And, you know, with all those crenellations...
You've not sorted that out yet?
Very, very painful. Anyway, I just became... overwhelmed is the word. I couldn't bear the size of me and the smallness of the place. And I was tired. I was working very hard because, you know, as an actor, no one gives more than me.
Yes.
And so I'm quite drained anyway. It was probably too ambitious to go to a model village that day. I should have just been resting.
When you talk about your acting and the extent to which you give, I don't think the viewer will realise the amount of research you do. And for you to play a sort of repressed, upper-middle-class Englishman, middle-aged, takes, months and months.
It's a huge stretch. It's a privilege.
I bet it was when you passed that church.
It's so difficult to deal. On the one side, I'm got Rob making an assault on my whole career. On the other side, you are persistently implying that I have crapped out an entire medieval building. And I just don't know. I feel like Germany in the First World War fighting on two fronts. I'm going to turn fascistic in a few decades. That's what I'm saying.
So what did Graham do exactly?
Well, he comforted me.
How?
I had been overwhelmed, and I'd got to the point where I had to just lower myself, to at least get my head down to the level of the rooftops, because I was freaking out. The sort of sense of unearned power, the ability to smash and destroy. It felt like a bitter metaphor of humanity's predation on the earth. And I was just really...
Are you saying all this out loud at the time, are you?
No, I'm not saying anything out loud, but I am sort of crouching down next to, I think, a miniaturised shop with a Bovril advert on the outside.
Nice bit of detail.
Thank you. And Graham comes over and asks if I'm OK.
And what did you say?
Did Graham work there, or was he just another person enjoying the sights?
He worked there. Okay. And he says they get a lot of this.
Oh, really? Right. We need an answer. So, Lee's team. Is Graham Nicola's hiccup hero, Dan's club cohort, or David's model mate?
Well, David is full of hogwash.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. You come onto a programme and you share something difficult and painful, and then this is how you're treated. Is this what would happen to me on Graham Norton? I don't think so. No. I think they'd mention the book and thank me for coming.
And Dan, as for your eggs, no way, Dan. The only thing that's remotely probably true is that Nicola. Because I look at Graham and he looks like the kind of person who would hide in a cupboard.
I think it's Egg Club. It's made me so furious, I think it's true.
You think it's Nicola? You think it's David?
OK, I think Nicola then as well.
OK, Nicola then.
We think that it is Nicola with her hiccups. Right. Graham, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Graham, and I'm the secretary of Dan's Egg Club.
Yes. And we can see one of the submissions to Egg Club now. Here it is. This is a picture that Dan was sent. That's what happens. They send it in. They say, "Morning, Dan. Surely worthy of Egg Club entry. Where do I pick up the keys?" And then Dan fires back with that. Unsanctioned rusty, lack of cutlery, overconfidence, banned from Egg Club applications for 117 days. Thank you very much, Graham. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
Last year, on a silent retreat, I got into a row with the rest of the group because of the snap, crackle and pop coming from my bowl of Rice Krispies.
David's team.
OK, what was this silent retreat that you were on, and why were you on it?
I was on it because I'm quite into meditating, and I wanted to do more activities rather than doing meditating at home.
I'm interested that the food at the retreat would be Rice Krispies.
Yeah. It wasn't. I actually brought my own Rice Krispies.
So where was it held?
It was in Scotland. I went with my friend Neil, and it was in Inverness.
What's the place usually used for when there isn't a silent retreat there? Is that
Oh, it's a silent retreat.
It's like next week another silent retreat. It's like
Yeah, you know that when you go to Disneyland and you go, what's happening next week? And they go, next week it's still Disneyland.
OK.
Week after,
Yes,
Disney. All right, next year. No, Disneyland.
So there's a silent retreat in Inverness. I've never heard about it. How on earth...
You wouldn't, would you?
When you tell somebody at a silent retreat that you're angry that their food is making a noise...
Oh, but just by giving them a look.
Tell you what, you start with your Rice Krispies, right? I'll be another gullible idiot who's handed over money to stay at this place. What are you doing now?
I'm shaking the Rice Krispies into the bowl.
OK.
Oh, sorry, are you in character?
Yes.
Oh, in that case, ask me again.
Well, I can't ask you if something... Well, I'm not the one who's... You're the one who's making the noise.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
So that was the tension.
And what were they eating for their breakfast that was so quiet?
Well, that was the annoying thing, because they were eating poppadoms.
So what are you thinking, Nicola?
I think this is true. I've known another comedian before that's been in a silent retreat. I have a vegan...
Who was the other comedian?
Tommy Tiernan, who's in Derry Girls.
I know Tommy, yeah. He was with me.
Dan, what about you?
Feels like absolute garbage to me.
OK, what's it going to be?
True!
You're saying it's true?
Yeah, I'm saying it's true. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be one of the two options you were expecting.
OK.
I'm saying true.
Good.
I'm saying it's definitely true.
Good. Lee.
Can I just say, David, I think you would suit a meditation retreat.
So, Lee, is it true or is it a lie?
Of course it's a lie, you pillock.
That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. And I can reveal that David's team have won by 4 points to 1. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.